They say the night has 1,000 eyes. In a city like Denver, they're usually the blinking, indifferent LEDs of an empty parking garage, or maybe the tired gaze of a guy working the graveyard shift at a taco truck. But on that night, the night the world got bouncy, the eyes were wide, black, and belonged to something that shouldn't have been there. Something that carried the silent, ancient dust of the Australian outback directly into the clean, modern geometry of the 16th Street Mall. The air was already thick, you see, not with smog, but with that peculiar pre-storm hush. The kind of silence that makes you check the lock on your door twice, even if you live on the 10th floor. It was 2:17 a.m., the time when secrets come out to breathe, and the respectable citizens are tucked safely into their illusions of order. It began, as all good calamities do, with a missing delivery. Not diamonds, not state secrets. Just a refrigerated cargo container, labeled live exotic mammals, urgent, subtle. The manifest simply read, 6 adult male, red kangaroos. A rather mundane shipment intended for a private reserve in the foothills. Nothing to suggest the seismic shift in reality that was about to occur. Officer Mitch, the Rook Rooney, fresh out of the academy and terrified of everything from jaywalkers to his own reflection, was patrolling the loading docks behind Union Station. He noticed the container first. The latch wasn't just broken, it was ripped, torn open like a birthday present, aggressively unboxed by a petulant child. Just a little vandalism. Rook, his veteran partner, Detective Veristone Sterling, had sighed over the radio. A woman who treated every shift like a personal battle against caffeine withdrawal. File a report. Probably just teenagers looking for free alpaca wool or something. But Rooney didn't see an alpaca. He saw a shadow, a shape that defied the laws of local fauna. It was tall, impossibly tall, and then it moved, not walking, but propelling itself with an almost obscene, silent muscularity. A dark, upright monolith disappearing between a dumpster and a freshly painted, no loitering sign. He found the first clue by the entrance to a closed-down artisanal pickle shop. A single, enormous footprint. It wasn't paw-shaped, it was a monstrous, elongated triangle, ending in claws that looked less like nails and more like the sharpened ends of steak knives, and next to it, a half-eaten bag of organic kale chips, discarded with an almost contemptuous air. This wasn't some gentle zoo escapee looking for a hay bale. This was a creature with a specific, and possibly gourmet, agenda. The Rook shivered. Detective, he whispered into the mic, his voice a tight wire. I think the Outback just ordered room service. The mystery wasn't just what was loose, but why it felt so utterly at home. Kangaroos, in Denver. It felt like the universe was suffering from jet lag. Detective Sterling finally arrived, rubbing the sleep from her eyes and adjusting her holster. She took one look at the footprint, then at the empty kale chip bag, and her expression went from tired skepticism to pure, unadulterated annoyance. 6 of them, Rooney, she stated, her voice flat. 6 oversized rabbits with bad attitudes and even worse fashion sense. Judging by the fact they're wearing nothing at all. They're genetically designed to cover 25 feet in a single leap. This isn't a case, Rook. This is a poorly planned urban safari. But as they rounded the corner onto Curtis Street, the true gravity and weirdness of the situation began to set in. The downtown area was usually sterile, a concrete and glass canyon of commerce. Now, it was different. It had an energy, a kind of primal, thumping life that hadn't been there before. The kangaroos, it turned out, weren't just fleeing. They were exploring, and they were displaying an unnerving appreciation for human infrastructure. A newspaper stand lay overturned, not from force, but seemingly from a creature attempting to read the headlines before realizing print media was obsolete. A traffic light at an intersection was swinging violently, not from the wind, but because one of the muscular marsupials dubbed Skippy, the Sinister by Detective Sterling, had apparently used it as a jungle gym, or perhaps an impromptu skipping rope. Look at the vandalism, Sterling muttered, pointing to a spray-painted sign near a construction site. The sign, which warned danger, heavy machinery, now had 2 very distinct vertical claw marks etched through the word danger. A warning, perhaps, or just an editorial critique of their signage. Then came the first victim. Not a person, thankfully, but a piece of property that felt just as sacred in the realm of the nocturnal city dweller. The meticulously curated window display of a high-end luxury sneaker boutique. They found 2 kangaroos' massive coiled masses of sinew and angs to hide inside. They weren't stealing the sneakers, they were wearing them. Or rather, they had jammed the massive, expensive footwear onto their hind feet in a bizarre attempt at camouflage, or perhaps, a highly specialized form of self-expression. One of them was attempting a complex breakdance move, resulting in a series of chaotic, rhythmic thuds against the marble floor. It's an invasion of privacy. Officer, the boutique owner, a man named Bartholomew, who looked like he hadn't slept since 1998, wailed over the phone line. They are scuffing the limited editions, and they look mocking. Rooney peered through the cracked glass. The kangaroo stopped bouncing. Its head tilted, and its massive, intelligent eyes met Rooney's. The creature didn't look scared. It looked annoyed, like a celebrity caught in a humiliating moment by the paparazzi. I think, Detective Rooney whispered, drawing his sidearm. They just wanted to see what it felt like to be a tourist. A very, very angry, highly subsidized tourist. The first light of a bruised, indifferent dawn was beginning to paint the Denver skyline. 6 shadows, 6 terrors, and 6 pairs of very expensive, ruined sneakers. The chase, the bizarre, unsettling kangaroo chase, was on. Did the kangaroos truly just want to accessorize, or was this calculated chaos? Were they seeking a new life, or plotting a silent, bouncy takeover of the Rockies? The full story of the kangaroo calamity is far stranger, darker, and more profoundly unsettling than you can possibly imagine. Hit the subscribe button below and click the bell notification. You don't want to miss our next unsettling dive into the bizarre truth, because trust us, the drop in downtown Denver was just the beginning. Leave a comment telling us, if you encountered a 6-foot-tall marsupial at 2 a.m., what's the first thing you'd ask it?